here? All right, and it's okay if you're not. Not a bad thing either. I've got 2 boys, 10 and 6, and that's my husband, Barton. Say hi. Just in case you're wondering how a guy got, like, made it into the Women Empowerment Conference, he has been really my rock, and somebody who's been supportive of my journey as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a mom. You know, he's like, I'm not going to get in front of you, honey, but I'll be right there with you, whatever you want to do. And that's really, you know, it's been an instrumental, he's been, you know, he's my soulmate because of that, because sometimes he sees a vision of us, of me, better than I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So speaking to women, I think that's, you know, the person that you're with makes such a difference in who you become and who you soar to become. And, you know, it's been a growing process for both of us. Sometimes I just shock him with, like, my new idea, and he's like, oh boy, sit back, everybody, let's calm down. But he's a great balance for me because he's totally the opposite of me. I have been in real estate. My background is in, you know, I've had corporate jobs left, jobs right? So I've worked for people, and then I decided when I was, we were going to have our first child, I said, you know, I need to have flexibility in my schedule, be able to control my time and all that stuff. So my husband one day came home and said, you should go into the real estate industry. That'd be good for you. So I went and got the license, right? Because I'm coachable, right? And got into real estate, and of course, you don't work from home in real estate. Did you know that? I mean, you're in the car, showing houses, meeting people, right? But I've been blessed with that industry and have done well. And about 5 years ago, I was getting burned out because I was working all the time. You know, in anything in life, I just want to give you a news flash right now. There's no such thing as a balanced life if you're passionate about something. Does that make sense? You just work it out. You make the pieces fit. But there's no such thing as having this balanced life, sitting on the beach, meditating while things are rocking in your business. It doesn't work that way, right? So it was time, and it was something that was put in my journey that we were looking for a way to have a backup plan where I didn't have to work all the time. So we got into, basically, we went to a business conference, saw something that we liked, and it was in direct sales and network marketing. Well, my husband and I, 3.5 years later, hit the top position in the company. Stock option with the car, but we didn't get there floating there, you know what I mean? We worked. We learned about leadership. I become somebody that I sometimes don't even recognize anymore. Right? And you know, so, the way I deal with things now, with life, with my children, with my clients, with everything is from a position of strength. So what I'm speaking to you of today is something that I have grown and have learned and I'm still continuing to learn, and I want to partake that with you because if you just do some shifting in your life, you will be amazed at, because you know what? Many of us still have years ahead of us, right? Life still keeps coming at you. And many times it's not to your liking. True? Who are you in the midst of adversity? And where do you go to refuel yourself so you can continue to get past the adversity and keep moving forward? Does that make sense? And that's been a gift that has been given to me. And so from there, I have come to realize that my passion is really to lift other people's lives. Because in the mentorship work, in the work that I've done, you can't become a leader or become successful without bringing other people with you. So you go through that process of cultivating that culture and lifting people's mindset. Mindset can be developed. Would you agree? It's just, are you in the environment to nurture that? One of my passions, I was asked to speak to a youth group, okay? And you know how when you have those moments in your life when you didn't know that you're meant to do that? And I'm speaking to these kids, and these kids, they just wanted it. They just wanted more. And it was that, and the person chosen to tell them that there is more in life. And I get goosebumps just talking about that. My passion is truly work with kids. To let them know that, you know what, you can make a difference. You, just you. What's your name? Annalena? How old are you? 23. Ooh, younger than 23. But she still represents a youth group, right? You know, if we cultivate and teach kids at a younger age that they can actually grow up and be anything they want to lead any organization, any group of people that they truly care about, do you think we might have a different world? If we have more leaders, people who take ownership as opposed to blaming and making excuses, any day of the week. So that's my passion, okay? So I've got this whole big picture I'll share with you at the end what kind of has been just, you know, a vision for me. Because what I want to share with you is the importance of vision as a leader, okay? How many of you are leaders in your organization today, or some sort of a leadership role, management, what have you, okay? How many of you who didn't raise your hands, thank you. How many who didn't raise your hands just now who are mothers? You're leaders. You know who you lead? Little dudes and dudettes, right? You're a role model. So a lot of times when I talk about leadership and when I speak about that, people go, you know, not everybody wants to be a leader. Hello? Leadership is influence. If you plan to have any level of success or skills in life, or even if you're a mother, you're a leader. And you have to know how to influence. Would you agree? Yeah. You're a role model to somebody. Okay? So even if you have, how many of you are in sales today? Oh, one person. Well, guess what? Do you think you have to be a leader in your career? When you're in sales, you better believe that you're influencing a bunch of people, aren't you? Because if you're not influencing anybody buying, they can buy. They can buy. I mean, I was in real estate. Do you think I was the only real estate agent in the American Canyon, Vallejo area? Fairfield? They're like mushrooms. Why would they work with me? Right? It's the ability for you to influence and attract people to you. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm talking to the right crowd. Yeah. Yeah. And this is interactive. You know, we're in a cozy environment, and you know what? This is meant to happen this way, so I can have an intimate conversation with you. Okay? So if you start snoring, I'm going to stop. So now you're too afraid to fall asleep now, right? Okay. So my topic is the power of your mindset and your courage. Okay? Because I think those are the two pieces. I don't care what skills, what careers, what you plan to have in your life. Without those two things, it's in you, isn't it? It doesn't matter what skills, what tools you have. The inside has to be ready. You agree? Okay? So this is not a woo-woo stuff. Okay? This is real stuff. The stronger you flex these muscles, guess what? The more empowering you will be to others and to yourself. So I'm not just talking about growing you, it's how you impact other people. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about that. Ooh. Don't you love her?
Yes.
Did you even look up? Okay. So visionaries. We're talking about visionaries. These are the people that are ordinary people that have a strong vision of how their world should be, right? So what does that say? Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing if that's what you want. But if you want to come out of the box, people are going to be speaking about you. And as long as you know you do the right thing, does it matter? You know, my little saying, right? And my husband's heard this many times. If you don't pay my bill, you can talk all day long. I'm just tuning you out, right? Unless you're responsible for my future and you have my interest at heart and you're vested in it, it's an opinion that everybody has, right? Okay. Profile of success. And I hope you're taking notes, okay? Absolute integrity. We just talked about that. What's the definition of integrity? Anything. Somebody was paying attention to the last slide, right? Integrity is being your word. Doing what you said you were going to do. Even long after the mood is gone. Right? Priorities. Now, I put that in there specifically because I'm speaking to women. Our priorities are screwed up, ladies. Do you agree? Yeah. You know, I have been blessed to be mentored by some very, very successful men and women, and they think differently. Women, oh my gosh, if your kid has a toothache at school, your priorities shifted, right? And as it should be. But here's the thing, as women, we have a different challenge, okay? And I still battle with my priorities every day. But the better you get at it, the smoother your life will be, the more flowing things will be, okay? So priorities is really about, you plan your day at the beginning of the day, okay? And you literally list out the things that you plan to attack, the must-be-done list. No, not negotiable, okay? And then you're going to come in filled with somebody puked at school, got to bring the clothes and you know, stuff like that, right? Yeah. Dental appointment, whatever, right? And stuff that comes up, that whatever your role is. So, and I have an elderly mother who lives with us, bless his heart, right? He takes good care of my mom as well. I'm the only child. So you can imagine my plate's pretty full. I run 2.5 businesses. I have 2 young kids. I have an elderly mom who had a stroke 4 years ago. You think my priorities are a little whacked out every single morning? You know, my day starts out this way, and by the end of the day, it's over here. It's on a different board. And I'm like, what? Okay, all right, let me just pull this and put it back for tomorrow. So you have to have the ability to be flexible and also have the ability to recognize what's important. What's important is not necessarily what's urgent. Do you agree? Yeah. But why is it that we keep responding to things that are urgent? Because they say it's urgent. Somebody says it's urgent, right? And then when you put out the fire, you're like, that could have waited till tomorrow. Nobody died, right? And I've learned that long ago that my phone is off at 9 p.m. When I used to do real estate, you know how people who are in sales, they go, I'm available 24/7. I'm here for you, 24/7. And now when I hear it, I'm like, seriously? Do you not manage to have a life? And I mean that respectfully. You can't be 24/7 to everybody. Where are you in all the 24/7, right? So you set boundaries. What I mean by priorities is set your boundaries. Let people in your life know, here are the things, this is how I operate, here's how we're going to roll. If you want to work with me. You like that? Yeah. Boy, I'm going to see the ladies walking out of here with some attitude. Stop rolling. All right, we're having fun. Are you having fun? Yeah. Are you already shifting a little bit? Okay. And let me tell you something. I grew up a crowd pleaser. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You can imagine being the only child, daughter, Asian culture, and the whole cultural thing. I didn't even know how to say no to anything. I would just do it, even though I didn't want to. And then so now I'm like way on the other side of the world, which my mom's still going, what happened to you? But what I've learned is you set boundaries, people will respect them, including your family. Do you know that? It's human nature. You give them, you know that expression, you know, I thought I lost a friend because you didn't call me back last night. I said, no, I just needed time for me. You and I are going straight to heaven together. We're not partying because of one little thing that didn't go right. But you have to know that sometimes I need time for me too. So our work relationship has changed since. Now she understands when I don't answer phones because it's just, I'll get back to you, just not now. Okay? So priority is very important. Set priorities for yourself. Focus on the things that are important, not urgent. And recognize the distinction. You are the only one who can recognize the distinction. Sometimes they're the same, but people who are successful operate from things that are important, not urgent. Because then you can be proactive, right? Because think about it. If you keep managing the things that are important and you tackle them and you're proactive, you will have less things that are urgent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You won't have as many emergencies because you've been taking control of your situations. A servant leader. Okay? And that, now what does that, what do you think when you hear that? What's a servant leader? It's about who? It's about others. It's about serving others. Right? And it's amazing. I spoke I'm a Rotarian, so I spoke at the Rotary and I said, you know, there's a group of leaders in this room. And if we just stop with the what's in it for me, you will receive more than you can ever handle. Would you agree? Serve others. Think about whether you're in service, you're a manager, what have you. Think about if the shoe was on the other foot, if you were them, how would they benefit from their interaction with you? What's in it for them? You will start shifting relationships like you have no idea. Okay? Discipline. Now, discipline has to do, when I speak about discipline, and I learned not too long ago that somebody said to me, you know, people don't like the word discipline. Is that true? Is that true?
No, that's not.
Oh, not in this room. Because this is a special room. That's why you're here, right? Here's the thing, I love the word discipline because you know what? Discipline's about habits. And it's about intentionally selecting which habits will grow you and which habits will take from you. Right? Now, when you get to a point where your habit, okay, is no longer about, you have to think about doing it, it's not a habit yet, right? But when you become disciplined, I'll give you an example. I've been taking my kids to school every morning, and I'm not a morning person. That's why I couldn't go back to the job world because I'm like, they'd fire me and I can't get there on time. So I do my thing in the morning, my ritual, whatever, and my neighbor used to take our kids to school. Isn't that nice? A dear friend of mine. And then he got ill, and he said, I can't get up early anymore, like just, he's all medicated and stuff. I said, no problem, I'll take your kid. He's like, you will? He hadn't seen me do that for 2 years. I can do it, because I got to get him out of bed anyway. So we go to school, and I was doing that for a while, and I thought, you know, that's my time in the morning, because I rush back, right? I don't know for what, but I rush back home, and I get in front of the computer, and then the computer sucks the life out of me, and before you know it, like half of my day is gone, right? Am I speaking to some, yeah? Yeah. So, okay, so I'm not the only one. So let me just tell you what I've done. So I said, you know, I'm going to start my day differently. Did you know that the thoughts that are put into your head at the beginning of the day and the thoughts that you end with dictate who you are during the day? It's called bookending. And it's actually in the CD that I have, but it's bookending. It's how you begin your day and how you end your day. You can be intentional about what thoughts come into your mind at the beginning of the day. Could be prayers, could be books, could be stuff that lifts you. A CD, audio, stuff about relaxation. I was doing that for a while. And at night, before you go to sleep, what is usually your last thought before you go to sleep? What's usually the last thing that happens? Share, like a few of you, share some with me. What you got to do the next day. Didn't that exhaust you?
Yeah.
Now I gotta plan what I gotta do in the next day. Okay, what else?
Everything I didn't get done today.
Does that make you feel good? No, see? Okay, what else? It's perfect. What else? What's the last thought that comes to your mind before you go to sleep?
Sometimes I thank God.
You thank
I
God?
don't do it every night, but I thank God. You know, for, maybe another day, or, things that might happen that didn't happen.
Absolutely. You reflect. That's beautiful, because that's one of the things you should be doing. We don't do it. We think about the things that didn't happen as opposed to the things that you actually accomplished. Does that make sense? Whatever you focus on grows. Focus on things that don't get done, more of them don't get done. Focus on bills not getting paid, guess what? More bills don't get paid. Don't flip it. Why don't we say, you know what? I want abundance in my life. I want things to flow like they're meant to be. Speak into existence, right? So you can generate those thoughts yourself. You don't even have to depend on some book or whatever. You can speak to yourself and say, tomorrow, thank you for today. I got these 3 things done, and I've grown as a person. And tomorrow, I'm going to be looking forward to one in. Did you want to join us? Maybe. This is the mindset and the courage talk. I feel like you join us. Okay. So it's about the thoughts, the words that you're using for yourself. Okay. So that's one discipline that you can go home and actually start when?
Today.
Tonight. Catch yourself and go, what am I? Oh, no, those are not the thoughts. That's what that lady with the weird name was talking about. Don't do that. Right? Focus on the things that you want, that you deserve. Greatness. Okay? It's powerful when your thoughts affect into reality. Okay, so how many of you are committed to changing your night? Not this young lady back here. She's on the right track over there. How many of you are committed to changing your thoughts before you go to sleep tonight? That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Thank you. Okay. So discipline. So I was just going to go back to my story. So I dropped my kids off now, and I'm like, why am I rushing back to get in front of the computer and be the slave of? I do a lot of stuff on Facebook. I do my work on Facebook, my quotes, my motivation stuff, and all that stuff. And you're welcome to join me on Facebook, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I do a lot of stuff on the computer, and then I get on the phone, and my day is gone, and then I go, why don't I give myself some time after I drop the kids off? And there's this beautiful waterfront path, literally around the corner from the school. So you know what I do now? I take my 30 minutes and I walk. My time. I talk to, right? And I start out with my blessings. It's just a conversation. So I'm mumbling, I'm speaking out loud. So when somebody walks by, I'm like, so they don't think I'm like nuts. Well, not that I care, but you know what I mean? I want to give them a little courtesy so they don't have to listen to me. I do that every day. And the days that I cannot because I have an appointment in the morning, I miss it. You think I might have taken on some new discipline? Oh, I miss it. Like I would go to the afternoon, I didn't get my walk this morning. And it sets my day. I come home and then it's all about still me taking care of myself and then exercise or whatever. I don't do that every day, but now I'm shifting things, you see? Anything can come at me after that because, man, I'm ready. I'm ready mentally and physically. How many of you do that? Good for you. Do you think we all need to be doing it? Yeah. Absolutely. You will see just that, the difference in your outlook and your perspective in how you interact with other people as well. Because you took care of you already. Okay? Connection. There's a thing called the law of connection in Johnson Maxwell's book. Powerful stuff. And now when I say connection, what comes to your mind? What does that mean? Relationship. Resources. Who said that? Awesome. What do you do?
Resource and referral.
Geez, I wonder where she got that word from. Okay, that's perfect. I didn't understand, believe it or not, I've been working with people for years, right? And my strength is in communication and working with people. You may not think that that's my strength, but I choose to believe that that's my strength, okay? Well, I've just now come to enjoy connecting with people. Literally this year. And it's a process, right? You know how you go, have you gone to those networking, business networking events? She's shaking her head, why?
Why don't I go?
Why don't you go, yeah?
Because I don't know about it. I don't hear about it.
Oh, okay. Well, there are a whole lot of them, but I used to go to these business networking events where I would come home with a handful of cards, you know, and I'd be like, who are these people? Who are these people? You think they feel the same way, they felt the same way about my card? Who's this lady, right? So I stopped because I'm like, I don't belong there. Like, I should be doing something else with my time, right? So then I started learning. Actually, Stephanie Barker, a dear friend of mine, introduced me to an organization called Successful Thinkers. Have you heard of them? They're all over. They're in Alameda, Bay Area. They're free. You can attend them for free. And you connect with business-minded people. A lot of them are, you know, people who are starting out in businesses, men and women. And usually there's a speaker. So I've spoken to those Successful Thinkers events, but that's just one of them. But at the thing at the end, we do a one-on-one meeting. We schedule a time where we meet for coffee. So I've had a lot of coffees lately. But I do enjoy them thoroughly because now I'm connecting, you see? And it's not about business. It's not about, can you give me leads? Can I give you leads? It's about who are you? And now I get to choose who I want to connect with. And so do they. It's beautiful, okay? So now, for some of you who are here at this event, if you haven't made any connection, you should. Spend about 5 minutes and don't talk about you. Learn about them. The you part will come, right? People will want to talk to you if they know that you're interested in them first. Does that make sense? Spend a little time, what do? Do you have children, blah, 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 right? Some of the people that you connect are going to turn into your lifetime friend. Somebody who will have your back that you may not have met yet. I promise you. But you have to be open to it. Don't come to these things and just sit there and learn the lecture and go home. You miss the big picture. It's all the other people of like-mindedness that are here. Does that make sense? You're going to be really friendly after this now, right? Okay, so law of connection. Tenacity. Tenacity is about what? Get back up. You fall down, you get back up. Failing forward, right? A lot of people don't do that though. They get tired, and just as the next, the real miracle in life is just around the corner, they miss it because they get off the bus or whatever, the vehicle that they're on. They decided to take the easier path. Okay? Tenacity is the true character of a leader and a successful minded person. Success may not be showing up in materials to you yet, but if you don't have that mindset, you'll never have the material stuff. Would you agree? The material stuff comes because of who you are. Tenacity is about not giving up, not quitting. Master your emotions, ladies. Oh, that's a big one. See, did you hear the sigh? So let me tell you about this, okay? Maybe I don't need to tell you. You already know what I'm trying to say. Women are creatures of emotions. In many cases, we let our emotions make our decisions. Would you agree?
Yes.
Oh, really agrees. It's very different when I work with men versus women. And it's not good or bad, it's just women, the stuff that gets in the way for them is in their heads. Men too, but it's called ego, right? They have it too, they have their bugs. But women is about that have anything to do with what we just talked about. It's about how you interpreted it.
Yeah.
So do you think if you can master your emotion in any given situation, you might have a different perspective of what's happening? Do you know that 5% is really what happens, and the other 95% is what? It's how you choose to respond to any situation. 5% is really what happens. So if you can master the 95%, you think you might have a winner? Every day. And then you're a step closer to that greatness. Because, and you know, I used to be another great discipline I wanted to share with you. I used to be a very emotional person. I would run a training call, like a lot of people on the call, right? Hundreds. And I would start crying because I'm talking about my mom or whatever, okay? And I'm like, okay, this is not going so well. Now these people don't know what to do with me because I'm crying. So I learned to sort of master that. And I'm like, if I want to be effective, if I want to carry my message out, they need to hear me clearly. And if they're not, it's my fault. So I can go cry after I hang up the call, but I need to be clear why I'm on the call. Not to say that I don't have emotion. You can tell that I'm pretty emotionally engaged, right? I just learned to control it better and learn to use it when I need it. Okay? It's an exercise. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process you go through, just like going to the gym, working out, and all that stuff. Master your emotions. This is the one thing that can be your best friend and your worst enemy. Your own emotion, especially for women. Seek out mentorship. I don't care what field you're in, where you're planning to go, whether it's not your career, maybe it's your life, it's your family, your cause, maybe it's a larger nonprofit organization cause that you're part of, or you're a leader of that, or what have you. You can't get there on your own. Do you know that? You need to learn from somebody or people who are living that life. Think about Michael Jordan. Think about Tiger Woods. Think about people that have become legends. You think Oprah doesn't have mentors? She's got a gazillion mentors. Maya Angelou is one of her mentors, right? You have to align yourself with people that are already living that life or are on the way of you wanting that life so that they can pull you in the right direction. Does that make sense? There is not one successful person that you can think of that doesn't recognize the value of mentorship. I'm not speaking to you here compared to the me 5 years ago without a ton of mentors and people really stretching me, and there are moments that it was painful and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, you're killing me. You know how coaches do that? They stretch you, they're like, come on, you can do more of this, and I'm like, I don't want to. But then when you do it, you have a breakthrough. But will you do that on your own? Heck no. Why would you? Nobody holds you accountable. Nobody says, my husband's one of the great ones. He's actually one of my mentors. Did you know that? He's like, he does it in a way that he's like, I see you like this. And I'm like, right. And he's like, no, I really do. Now, when you have somebody who's a stand for you in your life, and if you don't, you need to seek that out. You need to have somebody to hold you in a place that you're not there yet. For you to go, you know what, I can get there. Do you believe that you can do anything?
Yes.
Okay, only one on this side. Huh?
You put your mind to it.
That's right. It starts with the 6 inches between your ears. Right? But it's not just that. It's the how to, right? If your why is strong enough, your how will get there, but you've got to figure out the how. And this is where the mentorship makes a difference. You can sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody that you look up to. Like I'm going to be meeting with this lady who does like major events and all that stuff. And when she spoke, I was sitting there going, man, like she's speaking to my soul. You know what I mean? And we talked a little bit, and at the end she says, you and I are going to be great friends for life. I said, I know that too. But if I didn't make myself go to that event, would I have met her?
No.
It's who you want to spend time with. You want to say something?
No, I'm just listening to you.
The oxygen mask. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know where I'm going with it? saving the world, and nothing left for her, and she was getting burned out. I said, let me tell you about the oxygen mask. He's like, what do you mean? You know when you get on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of what an oxygen mask looks like. So they tell you, in case of emergency,
Yeah.
the plane's going down, right? You put the mask on, and if you have a child sitting next to you, who do you put the mask on first?
Yourself.
Yourself.
It's okay, I used to think that way too.
Yeah.
It's you first. See, it's the opposite of what we might think as a woman, as a mother, as a grandmother, as an auntie. You cannot save the child if you're not breathing. So you put the mask on yourself first. Hello. Thank you for putting this awesome. Well, I love my group, so there you go. So you put the mask on yourself first, because if you're not breathing, you cannot save anybody else. If you're hurting and you're suffocating and you're choking, can you help anyone else?
No.
You're not empowered. The oxygen mask. Think of that every single time before you go, you know what, let me just drop everything and fix your world. And then, you know, you got no electricity because you forgot to pay your bill because you're helping other people. Yes,
They call it codependent.
codependent. Somebody just said that word to me and I'm like, what does that mean? Now I understand. So, and here's the thing, if you keep enabling other people, what do you think happens to them? In the next crisis, who do they call? Hello? It's a perpetual cycle. Nobody wins. You don't win because you're never free. They don't win because they don't know how to fend for themselves. You should hear how I deal with my kids, right? At home. My son today, we were at a fundraiser at our church and he fell and he fell. I said, get over it. What? Bleeding. I said, well, get up. But you know what? I can't entertain that because there's going to be more drama coming out of that little bleeding. Does that make sense? It's like, wait. It's not even dripping, it's a splash. And then he's sitting there like this. And I couldn't take it anymore. I walked over there and I said, what are you upset about? Because he didn't get the t-shirt his size. He's a big dude, and he's a tall kid. They didn't have a shirt for his size. His brother got one. I said, is it the fall or is it the t-shirt? What is it? And he's like, oh, it's nothing. I said, well, then get up and get on the bike and ride it. He got over it, didn't he? He had fun. But I'm like, I am not going to do this with you. Love you to death, but I'm not putting my mask from here to there for what? Right? Oxygen mask. You cannot take care of anyone and be empowered to do it. You don't take care of yourself. Period. I don't care what a superwoman you are. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, I'm not doing that again. Okay? So the next time, you know, stuff comes at you and everybody needs your help, what do you say? Let me put my mask on. Okay? That's my walk in the morning. That's my oxygen mask. See? You have to find your oxygen mask. Your retreat. Margaret Thatcher. If you just set out to be light, you would be prepared to compromise on anything at any time, and you would achieve nothing. That's why she's an Iron Lady. Well, she has other names, but she's an Iron Lady, right? I grew up, like I told you, a crowd pleaser. And it got to a point where I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? I'm always trying to make everybody happy but myself. Okay? So, to become, especially as women in a leadership position, you need to be ultra, super, extra clear of what your priorities are and how this is going to go. And there's a nice way of doing it. You know, you don't have to, stop on people along the way. You can actually be who you are, the caring heart and all of those things, but you need to be clear of where this is going to go and where your boundaries are. gonna say something to me.
Doing the things that you're afraid of, even though you're afraid of doing
Courage is doing the thing that you're afraid of until the thing is no longer called fear. You think successful people don't have fears? Everybody has fear. It's human. It's built into us, whether you like it or not. It's just you. When in the face of fear, do you face it head on, or do you go curl up and go, you know? As a matter of fact, I'm a little busy. I'm too busy today. I don't feel well. Whatever. We call it excuses, right? We come up with reasons why we can't face it and get past it. Because you know what? On the other side of fear is what? Oh, your growth. Because think about it, right? I'm going to keep using my favorite son who fell off the bike. He used to not know how to ride a two-wheeler, right? He wasn't going to do it. His dad dragged him out and he was like, oh. So this went on, this fuss went on for like days, and I knew better. Like, no, you take him. I don't do that stuff. Better not the patience. Now he's cruising on the bike. You can't stop him. He like, phew. Did he have fear? We all do. That's just an example. But you have to keep busting through it. You keep doing it. You keep pressing on while you're afraid. And you know you're afraid, and you keep doing it. That's what happened to Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, who just took Facebook IPO, right? Oprah Winfrey, you think she wasn't afraid the first time she got on TV? They just don't let fear stop them. You have to make that decision, okay? So why courage? Courage is an absolute necessity to your greatness. To your greatness, whatever that means to you. Fear. False evidence appearing real. We just talked about that. Who makes it real? Not your neighbor, not your sister. You do it, right? We make it real. So we stop ourselves, don't we? The moment we recognize that it's us who stops greatness from coming into our lives, you think you might be more open? No? Yes? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay. I know now that I've confused you thoroughly. Fail forward. We'll talk about that. Keep failing forward. The true mark of a leader and a person who's successful is because they fail more times than an average person. Because you see, you can't get to the next level of your growth if you haven't failed. It's required. Just get up gracefully and let's go again, right? Dust yourself off and let's go. Embrace rejection. And you don't have to be in sales to get rejection, would you agree? Because what? Do people like rejection? No. Because it makes you feel like what? Unwanted. The word no. And you know, here's the thing, I'm going to give you like a visual, okay? Because I'm a visual person. So let's say you start here, okay? And whatever it is that this is your cause, what you're passionate about, and you're sharing it to a group of people. And behind this, there's nothing. You're starting from scratch, right? It's just you. And you're going to develop leadership, there are going to be people that follow your cause, whatever that is, okay? But it's just you right now. There's nobody here, right? So you're talking to a group of people, and they all said no. They all said no. Oh, that's just ridiculous. Like, nobody's going to buy your new product. forget it. Goodbye. Like nobody sees my cause, my passion about seeking out mentorship. There's no other way to get to greatness, by the way. So if they say, well, I don't think I need anybody to show me, well, you know what? Good luck to you. Let me know when you get there. Right? And that's okay. I'm respectful, but I'm not going to be there to convince you. You're rejecting what I know to be the way it is. But maybe that's not for you, right? So you have to look at it from maybe they're just not in the same plane that you are, and they're not even rejecting you. They're afraid. A lot of times the cause of rejection is because they're afraid. They're afraid of change. Change is the biggest thing people are afraid of. Do you agree?
Yes.
Step out of your comfort zone. We were talking about the box, right? Get out of the box. Right? Whatever it is, the next thing that you have to do that is uncomfortable, do it. Do it. Just for the exercise. Okay? You will be amazed the next time, the next bigger thing that builds your life, and builds your career, and builds your world, and builds your family, that you're uncomfortable doing. You already got used to doing things that you're uncomfortable. You do it, right? You don't have to do the analysis paralysis and you do nothing. You talk yourself out of it. Hi. Do you want to join us? You can come in. I have a pink slide. Is that your color? We're talking about courage and success mindset. Okay. Step out of your comfort zone. How many of you today are committed to stepping out of your comfort zone the next time the opportunity presents itself? I want to see the hands. And if you don't, I will lock you in here. I see you. Okay? Step out of your comfort zone. Do it, like make it like a daily thing. I mean, I play a game in my head. You know, sometimes when I go into a room and there are people like this, and they usually sit in the front. And like I peek in, you know, because they're introducing me, and I peek into the room and they're like this. I'm like, that's the one I'm going to uncross the arms by the time I'm done. It's a little trick I play in my head. It usually worked because I'm intentional, right? So you do those things to make yourself go, you know, this is kind of uncomfortable, but I'm going to make it comfortable for me, right? Get into the 5% club. The 5% club are the people who can achieve anything they set their minds to. The 5% club are the Oprah, the Margaret Thatcher, the Maya Angelou, the Mother Teresa, the Steve Jobs. That make sense? Get yourself in the 5% club. Whatever it is that they do, the character traits, you do it. And it's not just an all men thing, is it? There are a lot of great, tremendous women leaders in the world today. And they have other responsibilities too. So that's why I love to throw my story out so we don't have to go there and be like, oh, I don't have time, I don't really. Well, I got all those too. I got all the big people and the little people. You know, I have to send my mom out on the bus to go to her adult daycare, just like how I take my kids to school now. She's 76. I treat my mom the same way I treat my kids, except she can tell me to stop, like pipe it down when I have to listen. I have to be respectful. But I do the same thing. She has her birthday party on the adult day. I bring the cake. Same to you. I'm like, wow, I do this for my kids and now I do it for my mom. Right? Get in the 5% club despite all the stuff in your world. Just prioritize it. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. The more afraid you are, the better. And you can Facebook me and say, I just did it afraid today. I want to hear from you, okay? My Angela, oh, look at this. Don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love. Doing them, do them so well that people can't take their eyes off of you. Get good at it. Right? The money will come. If you're passionate and you're authentic, whatever it is for you. Okay?
Mom, can you turn
sessions, coaching sessions, teleconference, and I work through stuff with you. Like, it's an interactive thing. You gotta contribute. It's not me talk. It's we work together. And we kind of address some stuff. And there's a guideline on how we do it. And if you want to enroll, there's a sheet over there on your way out. But anyway, and a lot of the stuff, like I can share, if you're on Facebook, sometimes I put the stuff on. I have a mastermind group, has it's a closed group, you know, so it's by invitation only. I share stuff like that on there as well. It's just, this is what comes to me. You know, that's what I mean when I say I go to work on Facebook. I have about 2,000 friends. And if I impact 50 people that day, it's the 50 people that wouldn't have been impacted. Does that make sense? Sometimes I'll post something that just comes from me, and then I get a string of stuff. And that's when I know that I've touched people. And they write stuff back, and they're like, man, I needed that. How did you know I needed that? I'm like, well, I needed it. I wasn't thinking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't realize, that's why you gotta get into that alliance of people that want to have breakthroughs. You cannot get off. I promise you, you're hooked. Because you're like, man, I'm not going back to that side of the world where everything is doom and gloom and nothing is working. Never again. Okay? Are we done? What is your passion? Okay, we're going to stop and talk about this just for a few minutes. And let me go through this. If you don't have your passion now, seek it, because we all have it. And be bold and be courageous with your passion. Don't just settle. Does that make sense? Don't just go for the next easiest thing. That's not your passion. Your passion is when, you can't. You think about it all the time. It's just in you. And it's what you know you're meant to do. You don't know how to get there, that's okay. But if your eyes are not locked on it, it'll be just another thing, another blessing that came into your life and you let it go. Does that make sense? What is your passion? So write it down for me. I'll give you like 60 seconds. Write down your passion, whatever that is. Doesn't have to be a business. It's what you're called to do. When you wake up every morning, you're like, you know what? I'm meant to do this. Like, can you tell this is my passion? This is what I'm called to do. Even if there were just 2 of you in the room, it's still my passion. It doesn't take it away. Right? What is your passion? What makes you ache? What moves you? Because if you know that, pieces in your life will start coming together and you keep speaking about your passion and to your passion. Your passion leads you to your vision and your why. So if you don't have a vision, like, you've heard that phrase, the vision board. You know, people make a board of their vision of their life. You've heard of The Secret? Heard of The Secret? Oprah talks about that big time. Not that everything Oprah says is right. I'm just saying it's a pretty big concept. Your vision has to be so crystal clear that no one can ever take from you. My vision of our lives with our kids and my husband and all that, we're going to live like feet away from the beach. That's how I want to look out the window. Sorry. I didn't check with you. Is that okay with you? He's like, well,
That sounds
you're
good.
allergic to salt water. I want to be by the water. That's where I'm meant to be. Not now. Once the kids are out of school, you better believe that that's where we're going to end up.
Are you a
I'm so
Pisces?
clear. Huh?
Are you a Pisces?
I'm a Cancer. So, what is your vision? It doesn't have to be materialistic. It could be anything. It could be the lifestyle. It could be how you want to spend your time. Because if you don't know that, how can you get to a place you don't know what it is? So you're just spinning your wheel, right, every day? Same thing over and over, living through insanity, expecting different results. Right? Let your passion attract people to you. Oh, I can't say enough about the law of attraction, right? Law of attraction is who you are, is what draws people to you. You don't have to chase people down. You don't have to go, come on! know, I want to know about you, or whatever, okay? You just have, and you start getting more intuitively connected that way, more tuned in. Like, I'll talk to somebody for 10 minutes and I'm like, I want to know you. Or I'll go, yeah, that was a good cup of coffee, I gotta go now, right? You don't have to connect with the world. What makes you unique is certain people are meant to be in your world. Does that make sense? Okay. If you don't know what passion means, ugh. Now, does that make sense to you? Does that summarize it for you? What would you do for free that you would do it anyway? I do this for free. Thank goodness people are paying me, but I would do it for free because it, you know, when you see the light go on in their minds, you go, wow, I had something to do with that. They did the work, but I had something to open the doors for them. Does that make sense? What would you do for free? And you would just be content. You would just say, you know, this is my purpose. Okay? So did you all write down your passion? Who said no? Who said no? Write down your passion, please. And even if it changes, it's okay. It's the same path. It's going to build you to your next real passion. But you've got to start with something. What moves you? What makes you feel good? What makes you say, you know what? Man, that's what life is supposed to be about. You're fulfilled. You know what I mean? Okay. So, I'm supposed to do something. Oh, okay. Develop your inner circle. I cannot say enough about the inner circle. The inner circle are who? Write this down. You are the sum of the 5 people who are closest to your mind. You are the sum of the 5 people who It's like we're talking like this. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that I don't respect what they have to say. It's just not the stuff I'm interested in talking about. I don't want to spend 45 minutes talking about wine. I mean, I enjoy wine, but really? I mean, 45 minutes? You know what I mean? That's just not me. So you have to go, well, I need to be somewhere else. How do I get there? I need to add people that influence my thoughts in a way that I can have breakthroughs. Okay? Your inner circle. Mother Teresa. We have been created for greater things. Not just to be a number in the world. Not just to go for diplomas and degrees. This work and that work. We have been created in order to love and to be loved. How many of you, like, that kind of spoke to? Like, that hit you? We're not just a number. But why is it that people settle? You know how many people that go through life, they settle for what's been on their plate all of those years? And they're not happy. They're not happy. But it's like, well, you know, I got no choice. You heard people say that? I don't believe that. When people say they don't have a choice, I'm like, okay, back up the truck. You made yourself have no choice. Okay? The choices may not be what you like, but you always have a choice at any given time. Would you agree? Okay. This is I'm going to show you a video. Get ready for this. Okay.
These are the only possible rules that can follow what you just saw, that can follow Maya Angelou. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lifetime Achievement Award to Oprah Winfrey.
Thank you. This is certainly one of life's full circle moments for me, because it's so true. We are all beacons of light for each other, and I'm grateful that Barbara Walters was there for me to see that beacon of light, to become all that I could be today. Thank you, Ms. Barbara. Thank you. I want to thank the Harpo family, and I want to thank the Kingwell family. I want to thank everybody who has nurtured me, who stood in the gap for me. Stedman, you're the sweetest man. Greatest integrity. Thank you for helping me to be everything that I am and all that is to come. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Maya. Thank you all. You know, from the beginning, being a colored, then Negro, then black, then African-American child. Growing up in Mississippi, my prayer was, for as long as I can remember, God, use me. Use me, use this life. I don't know what the future holds for me, but I know that there is a vision for my life that is greater than my imagination can hold. Use me, what would you have me to do? And that dream, that desire, that prayer brought me somehow to television. And to be able to use this tremendous vehicle of television to go into people's homes and somehow be able to touch their lives and to be the beacon that Barbara was for me, to be a light, a hope, and understanding, to share some sense of illumination that maybe sometimes reflects people's lives and sometimes opens them up to themselves, is the greatest blessing God could have given me. And I want to continue to use television as we become more polarized in this medium. I choose to use it in whatever way I can, we can, to make people lead better lives, to lead them to the highest vision possible for themselves. That is the goal. I thank you for this award because it encourages me to run on and see what the end will be. Thank you.
How was that for you? Are we still in one piece? Oh my gosh, I cried when I saw that the first time. Oh my God, sorry. What does that say to you? Like what you just saw? How did that move you? You're so moved, you're speechless. You're still moved. How did that make you feel? Like what was the one thing?
What year was that done in?
I think it was in the 90 something when she won that award. I mean, I dug it up. You know, I just want to say this real quick. You have a purpose, every single one of us. Some people go through a whole lifetime and never tapped into it. Wasted. Oh. And it just breaks my heart when I see that. Okay, I'm not going to cry. And that's why I do what I do, because if that means you're going to be in the face of us going at it, and you're like, I don't like you. You know, literally in my mastermind group, a gentleman said to me, I don't like this. And I said, he's like, I don't like this. And I said, oh, you love it. I thought he was kidding. He goes, no, I don't like this. I don't like how it makes me feel. And he said, does that mean you're coming back on next week? He's like, absolutely. You gave me an assignment. I have to do my assignment. And he invited me to go speak to his group. You see, it's not supposed to be something that you love, having a breakthrough. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to hurt. But what are you going to do? Are you going to just curl up and go, oh, you know, it's easier to not try, right? That's what spoke to me, okay? I have this sheet handout, so I'm going to skip this for the sake of time, okay? But just why you need to seek out mentorship is a mentor can see things you can't even see for yourself, okay? They lead you to greatness when you didn't even know it existed in you. Makes all the difference in the world, okay? And I have the handout. Yeah, you have it. Okay. Here's my gift to you, mastermind group, okay? And this is something that, it's got to be something you want to do, because otherwise it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of my time. You got to want to take it on for you to grow, okay? It's 4 free sessions of mentorship with me. It's on a teleconference call, so you can do it in your pajamas, whatever. But I'm going to give you some work to do. So there's homework, and we're communicating and all that stuff. We're going to be speaking, so I'm doing on-spot coaching with what comes up for you, what you found from the work that you've done that week. We do it from the book of John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. How many of you have heard of John Maxwell? If you haven't, that's okay. He's worldwide. He's got books in 40 different languages in leadership development. He used to be a pastor, and he spoke into corporations and major Fortune 100 companies in turn. It's all in the mindset, okay? Like-minded individuals. So you're in a forum, a group, and I keep it small because otherwise not everybody gets their turn to speak. It's a like-minded group because it's people that want to work on themselves, whatever walks of life they're in, okay? And we support each other. Accountability. I hold you accountable, because if you don't do your work, I can't help you. Does that make sense? Because you're not willing to do it, you don't want to deal with it, whatever it is, I don't even want to know. It's just you didn't do it. Just say you didn't do it. So I'll take the word excuses out of your vocabulary by the time we're done. In a loving way. I'll be like, oh, I heard an excuse coming up. Heard that before. Supportive and safe group. Your information that you share is protected within the group. We honor each other. It's not about you pitching your business. It's about you coming to the table, growing. Okay? If you use a Facebook, I have a Facebook mastermind group. It's a closed group, and I have to invite you in. So it's a group that where I post stuff and talk about the assignments, the work that we're doing, because I run different groups at the same time. So you may not all know each other, but you know that this is a form of group of like-mindedness, and you can connect with each other. Like somebody heard somebody on the call and said, you know, you really inspire me. I said, yeah, you can connect with each other through Facebook. Okay, and then they can develop their own friendship. And then I've got people from the Midwest, East Coast to Fresno, so that's why I can't do in person. It's kind of hard to do, right? So it's just, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, we have really rich discussions. The space is limited. My next group is going to start June 4th or June 25th. Okay, and I'll let you know the schedule. Right now, the way I'm running it is I have Monday morning groups at 9 a.m. and it's about an hour 15 minutes. And I do my best to end on time, to be respectful of your time. And then another group in the evening. So like right now, I have a Tuesday evening group. So it just depends on people's schedule. But you know what's amazing to me? A lot of people want to be on a Monday morning. I'm like, wow, I didn't know people had flexibility in their schedule like that. But it kicks off your week, you know what I mean? It's like first thing in the morning and you just set your plan. Okay, so that's my gift to you. So if you want to sign up, the sheet is over there out front and you can enroll, okay? And then I'll let you know, depending on the space and all that stuff, because usually I start promoting it for the next group, and I get people just get ready to get started. So that's my Facebook address. I do this is one of my posts I wanted to share with you. This is the kind of stuff that comes into my head and I just have to post it, and I got a lot of people going, yeah! I tell my kids, I'd rather you tell me the truth, even if I don't like it. Oh, I can't read my own stuff. I tell my kids, I'd rather you tell me the truth, even if I don't like what you have to say. It is much worse when you tell me what I want to hear and it's a lie. Same principle goes with the grown-ups. And people are like, yeah. Because you know, it's amazing that people in business will say stuff that is not true. And then they're found out later. How many CEOs have been removed because of that, right? How many organizations have fallen because of that? Lies. So I tell my kids that. I'm like, don't you lie to me. They're like, okay, Mommy, okay. So last but not least, so you can go to my Facebook.com/Kasama, friend me, and you'll see a lot of the stuff that I do. That's all I do. I post stuff intentionally on Facebook to move and inspire people. That's all I do. Okay, last slide. Whew, finally get out of here. A visionary sees light in the dark. And the rest of them never see the light, you see? That's why there's a 5% club, and that's why there's everybody else. That's what makes the world. What is your vision? Do you see it? You see it in the dark, okay? Your greatness starts with you. Let's develop the leader in you, because when you lead, others can follow you. When you start to impact yourself, empower yourself, you can start to impact and empower other people. Never before that. It starts with you, okay? So the other thing that I have is I wanted to share this with you. I put together a CD, audio CD. It's 45 minutes, and it's the 10 building blocks to your greatness. It's $7. If you want to just pop it into your car when you're driving, it's really 10 things that have helped me. And I give you techniques, okay, in how you would do things differently. And if you apply it, it will work. You have to apply them. Just like everything that you heard today, if you just sat in here and leave this building and don't do anything different, what did you just do? You wasted your time. For what? Why'd you come to this thing? Okay? So I challenge you, literally, as you step out of here, take 1 or 2 concepts, get the CD, and I'll tell you, I do the CDs because I want to see if people are actually going to take action. So there's got to be value in it. I can give it away, but then there's no value in free. Does that make sense? Because there's nothing for you to lose. I learned that long ago. So go live that life that you're meant to have, that greatness. Keep moving in that direction. And some of you, I will hear you on the mastermind group. You know, I didn't get to know all of your names, but I would love to be able to, even just for the 4-week series, okay, for us to be able to really just discover some stuff together, because it's also a gift to me when I work with you, okay? And then if you want to continue on with the coaching, that's great too. But I want you to just, you know, for some people they don't. How many of you have had a coaching, like, relationship, like you have a coach? Oh, that kind of coach. That's a coach too. That's a physical coach. See, but it's amazing to me. People will spend money to have a personal trainer, but they won't spend money on this. And you know what? I was one of those people, so I'm not all that. I'm just saying, this part will take care of this part too. You agree? You got to be strong and disciplined and regimented up here before you can do anything to make a difference anywhere. On your body too, okay? So, thank you very much for being with me. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, if you could do me a favor and fill these out for me. It's a survey, what you got from it, okay? Like, I would love to hear what your, because it helps me moving forward to continue to do what I do and on what you might want to hear next. And also, if you want to know about the next upcoming one, I'm probably going to